Alrighty, Chris, and all those who would watch. Now, none of this is pre-rehearsed. I just got done doing some laundry stuff and bed making and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to use my Squier Classic Vibe on clean. But, continue on the D major scale positions, scale blocks. You know, your first block would start with the D, your second scale block would start with the E. All the notes, everything I'm mentioning, all the notes are the same 7 notes. The third block would start with an F sharp note. The fourth block would start with a G. The fifth block would start with your A. And again, I hate to call it, well, A, Mixolydian. Well, Mixolydian's in the E Dorian block. Mixolydian's in the F sharp Phrygian block. Mixolydian's in the G Lydian block. It's the note you start with an end on. A Mixolydian's in the B natural minor block. And so on, as I've mentioned many times. I want to drill that home because when I hear, oh, a backing track is titled A Mixolydian, I think D major and all of its 7 scale blocks that I can reel in and out of and play what I want, plus pentatonic. That's always a given. And the cool thing with the pentatonic, when you're talking a major key, there's a couple different minor pentatonics you can use. I can use A major pentatonic over the A Mixolydian, even though that's, you know, not purely from D, but it works because actually if you break it down, the notes in it are also notes from it, D. So here's what my suggestion is, Chris, and to anybody listening, to help your creativity in playing. If you don't already know this, for you, those of you watching, I found a track. This is what I used to do to help me find other things to say than the pentatonic. And understanding what key what the scale blocks I can use to that chord. So this one's called E minor, 1-chord vamp. Because you got to listen to each, you know, there's 1,000 E minor chord, 1-chord tracks, but you got to listen to each one, and some of them have other things in there that speak. Maybe you can't use E Dorian, you know, maybe it has to be natural minor only, maybe. It depends. This one's a E 1-chord vamp, so I'm assuming I can use E Dorian. I don't know, I have not played to it at all. I just wanted to find a 1-chord track. This is for the D major scale blocks now. Because I mentioned to you, Chris, I think in the last video, that, you know, play to 1 chord, find an A chord, an A major chord track, but make sure it doesn't have, make sure that A major track doesn't have an E major chord in it, because it won't work, because that's not from D major. Everything you want to pick, and then you could get a B natural minor track. You got to make sure the B natural minor track, what they call B minor, isn't Dorian. That's the whole thing about this. That one fucking note throat means all the 7 blocks you use are not the same, you know. So anyways, here's an E, I don't know, I have not played to it. It says E minor 1-chord vamp, which just means it's supposedly going to just ride that 1 chord. I'm gonna look for things that fit out of the D major scale blocks. I'm just gonna go into each of the blocks and play a simple. I'm gonna keep it simple, no gain, just on clean, to see what they sound like. That's the big thing about learning these blocks. Playing them up and down and listen to what they sound like in every possible combination. So I'll just walk up the E Dorian and see if it fits. on an F sharp note and it works. That's the G Lydian block, but I'm playing to that one chord. I'll play out of the A Mixolydian block. I'm not playing on purpose. I'm trying to perform to it and hit it right on the groove or whatever. I'm just thinking, land on all the other notes that are not an E note in the D major blocks. So you can hear that. It'll all work if you, depending on how you phrase it. I don't know what this would sound like on gain, because these are Alnico 5 pickups, so they're very hot. I love that F sharp note on that, over that E minor chord myself. So I'm going to noodle out of the B natural minor block to this E minor chord. Again, this is using the D major scale blocks and finding shit that sounds so good. A C sharp note. I'm doing this on purpose, and you're hearing, oh, no, it's creating tension on purpose, and then eventually somewhere coming in and playing your E, you're resolving on it, if you will. But it's about listening to what the notes sound like. I'll just walk up the scale positions of D major, and I'm not playing to fit to the track. If I wanted to create to that on purpose, I could do all kinds of different shit to really make a phrase. But I'm trying to make a point about if you take all them scale blocks and you master them and you get to used to what the shapes, the Dorian block shape is, although it's all 7 modes, the Phrygian shape block is, and the Lydian and the Mixolydian and the natural minor, you know, all that. You do put it, if you just sat with one block for half an hour and did it for a while, you know, and then just go play and have your fun and do your other stuff that you do, heavy on the pentatonic, whatever. The next day, try the next block, and then when you try the next block, work on tying them together. To start with the next block the next day. I love that right there, that tension. And then, you know, then work the next day to tie them together. Next day, noodle with the next block. block up, and then the day after that, tie the 3 of them together. You know, that kind of thing, you know. So if you work to play, you work on one of the blocks to get the notes so that you've got the notes correct in that block, then play to that one chord in that block, you know, and then you start tying them together. So and you want to avoid trying to find, well, I can play that riff, find an easier way. You don't want to try to find the easier way to play a certain riff, unless you create a piece and you got a solo and you have to find the easier way to play it because of where you're going after that or where you're coming from before it. So don't get me wrong on that. But this is practice to develop all 4 fingers also. First thing I try to do, well, I can play that riff here. Whatever, you know. No, do this. What? Use that fingering and learn to play it that way. You'll have it available sometime later on, and when you're really, you know, working to do something fast and you mix your pentatonic, you got that baby finger. Why is that? Oh, that side, that channel is turned way down. Alright, so that's my point. I ain't gonna go change that. So, you know, and do that with all the blocks. A Mixolydian block. Other notes just to hear what they sound like. It's not like you're trying to play it as a specific riff, but you know, again, to break away from E to E on an E minor chord, and getting all the blocks out, because you're going to hear things. It's going to add to, wow, you're going to find more cool shit this way. Then out of the B natural minor block. That might, you know, it's not sound right to you, but that's when you hear all this other flavor in people's playing. That's what kind of shit they'd be doing. So that's that. I don't want to go over 20 minutes. I lose track of time. So that kind of thing, you know, just to hear what's in them. You're not trying to perform and perfect anything in particular, though you might find some cool shit along the way and go, oh, I like that, and that's how I wrote my early stuff. And then I go, oh, that's a cool riff, and then next thing you know, I'm doing something. You know, whatever, you know. one thing. You might find occasionally some things that you do want to use for it. And you might want to resolve on it and then go to your E minor pentatonic or whatever. You know, so again, staying in that key. It's about mastering 7 blocks, hearing what's in them in different flavors. Now, let's see if I can just type a major vamp backing track. Let's just, I don't know how much time I got. If I go over, I'll redo it. A major vamp track. Let's see what we got. Let's see what this, then I gotta listen, because again, one chord, I like the ones that say vamp, because they're most likely the ones that ain't got, if they got that added in for ongoing sus kind of thing, then sometimes it doesn't work. I don't like the beat to that one. You can do that in your E Dorian block. Again, all D major scale blocks, so you can, then you're going to be forced to play Mixolydian flavor. You can use all the blocks out of B natural minor, F sharp, Phrygian block, E Dorian, but you're going to play out of those. You're going to hear things when you're playing, staying true to the notes of the key of D major, and you're going to hear what you like, and it's going to be a Mixolydian flavor automatically. Okay, so hopefully I didn't go over 20 minutes. All right, later.